Hello and welcome to Saturday Night Crafting. Tonight we're going to focus on a third video in my series of jelly printing. So the first video was this one here, starting out with jelly plates, where I had a play and had some fun and learned about jelly plates. In my second video I showed you how to turn a bunch of the prints into cards, and tonight we're going to do some mixed media art journaling. So I've got this book here, which is from Arteza. I have been mega impressed with this book. You'll see I saturate the crap out of it and it still doesn't seep through. So really, really happy with this. I don't know if it's available right now in the UK. I think it's still available in the US, but I'll put a link down below if you want to try and find it. So if you remember my first video, I went ahead and made a whole bunch of prints, and then I put all the sort of extra paint in this book and just kind of slapdashed it in on various pages. So this video is going to be very, very sped up. There's not really any techniques, there's no tips and tricks. It is just my version of mixed media art journaling. So this is a fun video just to kind of inspire you to relax and chill out and just have fun with me. So this is the first page that I'm starting on. This was kind of my tester run. So I've got this pot of gesso, which you can see is nice and empty, so it wasn't that handy. But I thought I'd prime my surface first, and I should have primed the whole thing. I only remembered when I moved on to the second or third that I actually have a transparent gesso, so I can keep all that beautiful color on the page. I don't have to cover it up. Now, I discovered gesso is very, very important. While I was doing this whole journaling, I went ahead and I put on some of my favorite mixed media people, discovered some new ones, and had them playing, and I was just kind of crafting along while they were crafting, and I really enjoyed it. Now, my take on mixed media art journaling is that it's not about techniques. It's not about making something pretty. It's not about making a special, amazing project. It is about being creative, having fun, relaxing, and enjoying yourself. So there is no one to impress. This is not a book that I'm making for you guys in hopes that you like it. This is just me playing. This is me having a great time using products, and it is unbelievably relaxing. So I've decided when I next go on holiday, I'm going to take this book and I'm going to have a play with this book rather than taking cards and trying to, take my big shot and do all that kind of stuff. I'm going to take this book and I'm going to sit down and I am just going to create, and I'll take a few supplies with me and just have fun. It's all about the enjoyment of creating something and just playing with different mediums. So I found this nothing but fun. I got to be messy, I mucked up, I tried again. As I said before, this page here that I'm doing now was my trial and error. So I was watching stuff on YouTube and I was just trying out different supplies, trying out different things. Now I've got a little blue bit of paper there because I've already started writing in it. This is going to be my kind of weight loss tracking page. So for me, I'm going to use it as a useful thing. It's going to be where I put my prayers. It's going to be where I put my thoughts. It's going to be where I record things I want to record. It's just going to be my fun book for me. And so that first page is all going to be about my exercise, my fitness, trying to be healthy, being mindful of what I'm doing. And so I kind of recorded my weight and my measurements that, even if I'm not losing any weight, I can see if I'm getting healthier by all the walking, swimming, biking, whatever I'm doing. I can then see if I'm improving my health, because that's the biggest thing right now is I've gained a lot of weight since 2 children, and actually I want to be healthier. It's not about losing the weight. I just want to be a healthier version, so I'm not out of breath all the time. I'm not finding things difficult. I'm not feeling so rubbish about myself. So anyways, that was the first page and I had a great time doing it. I'm trying to slow down on little bits so you can see what products I'm using, and I will do my best to link everything at the end of the video. Now I've talked for 4 minutes and I haven't really told you much about what I've been doing and sort of what the tricks I've learned along the way. So I have got the various products I've been sharing with you. These crayons are just like gelatos, if you know what those are. They're really expensive sort of mixed media crayons. I got these on Amazon for really cheap. I paid £14.50 for them. I looked last night and they're down to about £13, so I'll put that link down. Couldn't find them on the American Amazon, definitely on the UK Amazon, but they're water soluble, you can blend them with your finger, you can do loads, and they're really cheap for 36 different colours, and there's metallics in there as well. Now, as you saw, as I was blabbing away, I have my boxes of sprays, homemade ones, I have various other ones like the Delusions ones, And I'm just going ahead and having fun. Now, there is a section where I've got homemade sprays, I believe, on my YouTube. I'll try and link that in the description box if I can remember, so that you can see it. Now, here's what I'm sharing with you. My pages are saturated. They are pretty soggy, but there's no seepage. I did have a little bit coming through the seam in the middle, and I did see another YouTuber put down some tape along the middle to kind of keep it from running through that seam. But other than that, this paper held up really well with a lot of water and a lot of products. Now, the key to doing mixed media art journaling is to dry everything. Make sure you are drying between all the stages with either your heat gun or, go have lunch and come back to it, that kind of thing, because otherwise the paper does get really soggy and then things aren't going on top of each other, like the media products aren't going on top of each other, they're just kind of merging. And so you really want to be careful to keep it dry and not have too much of a mess. So this is my second round, and I feel like I'm improving on my art journaling. I feel like it's getting better. It's getting more of what I like. I put stuff down, I covered it up. I put stuff down, I covered it up. But I was just having fun. I was just playing around. And my desk also got covered. So these sprays are amazing. They are so pigmented. They are so gorgeous. But holy doodles, look at my desk. What a disaster it is. Even my phone got it. Everything was covered on my desk. My iPad that sits like up on a shelf has got some gold flecks on it because it just goes everywhere. So make sure you're not precious about anything on your desk, and make sure you've got a space that can get messy and icky. It all washed off. It's all water soluble. So I just wiped everything lightly. I mean, my tools are still covered in little speckles, but I don't really care. I had such a great time. So do be careful when you're spraying and stuff. If you've got a smaller space, just make sure you're mindful of what's around you and what you've got on your desk, because it will probably get covered. My coffee was okay. My coffee was to the right behind some stuff, and it wasn't in the line of fire, so that was alright. But do be careful if you've got drinks on your desk, because you don't want to be drinking the products. I'm sure they're not that harmful, but I wouldn't really want to ingest them. So this is some drawing ink I got from the Works years ago. It's just a copperish, goldish kind of color, and I thought I would tie that in with the edging, which was the gold from the pack of gelato fake ones, and I just flicked that all over the top. I wanted to put a sentiment on it. I like having pages with words, something to inspire me, something to make me think a bit, and I decided this stamp set here, which is not available anymore, I bought years ago, would be a really good one to use. Now, this is thick vellum cardstock, and after drying it and leaving it for ages, it was still wet. So I decided I need to cover it in clear embossing powder. So if you've ever got ink that just won't dry, just stick some clear embossing powder on it and you'll be alright. Now, I did make my cardstock bubble a little bit because I got too close to the heat gun and left it for too long, but it's fine because when you see I go and I put the glue on it, it gets all wrinkly and horrible anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So anyways, I put that on some vellum because I wanted to see my background through it a bit. And then I realized that actually the background still isn't dry, so I went and heat set it and then left it a little bit, and now it's perfectly dry and I can go ahead and stick that layer on. So again, just make sure you're drying each layer, otherwise you're going to mess up what you've done before. Now, to stick it down, you can use whatever adhesive you want, but be mindful that you will see the adhesive if you choose to do little splotches if it's vellum. So I wanted to use this very well-known mixed media glue, which is the matte medium finish from Ranger, and I stuck that all down, but it did make my vellum go super wrinkly. In the end, I didn't mind it so much because it kind of went with my wrinkly paper anyways, because I've got all this media and stuff on there. I wanted to put a flower on, but I can't draw worth crap. I suck. I'm not an artist. I cannot even draw a circle. It comes out all kinds of wonky. So I thought, let's go back to primary school. Let's find an image we like. I searched up flower outlines on Google, found this one that I loved, and we're going to do the primary school trick. I've got these Arteza charcoal pencils, which I don't think are available anywhere. I tried to find them. I don't think they sell them, but Amazon sells some, any art store sells them. They're cheap and they're everywhere. And I used this because it was nice and thick and really pigmented. So I used that. You could use a pencil though if that's what you got. And all I did was traced over the back of the flower and rubbed it with my bone folder, and it took the impression from the paper and put it onto my book so that I could then trace it with a pen or the charcoal pencil. It was super simple, super easy for all those people out there that are like me. You can't draw. I wanted the leaf not to be in this weird position where it was kind of sticking off the flower, so I did the leaf separately and kind of tried to line it up so that the leaf was more so touching my flower. And I love how it turned out. I'm so happy with it. I thought it was stunning. Now I did originally trace it with my Arteza pen. These pens, I rant and rave about them all the time, but honestly, they are my go-to pen for everything in my house and everything in my craft room, and they never fail me, and they always look stunning and dark and black. So I will link those for you if you're looking for good pens in general or for crafting. They are cracking good. As I said before, these are the Arteza charcoal pencils that I got, a white charcoal, hard, medium, and soft, but they're no longer available, I don't think. Now, I'm sorry about that bit of blurry footage. I was playing around with the white charcoal, trying to work out what I wanted. Did I want to outline it? Did I want to color it in? Did I want to just have a hint of it, do some shading? In the end, I colored it all in, and then I realized that my pen wasn't quite dark enough, so I went over it with the charcoal pencil. Now, I didn't like the texture I was getting with the flower, so I went and grabbed my Q-tips or cotton buds and just kind of blended it in. And you'll see the photos on the end. That charcoal actually lifted, pretty much almost all of it lifted. There's still a hint of lightness on it, but it nearly all lifted. So I think if you're going to use the charcoal pencils, especially the light one, you're going to want to set it with something, maybe some hairspray or something. But I didn't mind in the end. You'll see the pictures. You can still see that it's lighter, and that's what I was going for. So that is pretty much, I think, my finished page. It is so shiny and so pretty, and I can't wait to kind of play with it maybe a bit more. I'm not sure I'm 100% done with it, and that's the great thing about mixed media art journaling is you can carry on if you feel like it later. I could go ahead and trace out some of those stencils. I can leave them. I can do whatever I feel like. It's my book. Here's that flower I was telling you about. It's a much lighter version of it, but it still looks really cool. So I decided that I would prep another couple pages so that they were ready to go for when I wanted to do some art journaling, when I remembered I had a clear gesso. I will link this down below. I got it on Amazon, and it is fantastic. The whole point in gesso is that it gives you a bit of texture to grip with. So all your other products that you use will have something to stick onto. It's got a bit of what's called tooth to it. So when I color with my pencils and my pens and everything, it sticks to it really nice. So if you go ahead and prep a surface with gesso and without a gesso and put some products on it, you will see what I mean. It really is like a magic worker. Now this one, I wanted to tone down the colored page a bit more because the left side was really, really numb. So I thought that I would go ahead and use white gesso. I found another bottle that was full and decided to prep that page. Now for this one, I wanted a bit more of a wash rather than a really thick. The gesso was really, really, really thick. So I put a big blob on that little plastic mat there I've got to the side, and I added water to kind of water it down so that it wasn't such a thick paste going on. It was more of a washy kind of color rather than a really thick one. So I can still see that color coming through. It's just not quite so thick. So again, I had to mix up some more. I didn't put enough down, so I'm just mixing up some more on the left and then doing the other side so that they kind of look a bit similar. Now my intention was just to leave this page to dry and sort of leave it there, but then I got carried away because I have so much fun in this book that I just decided to go for it. And before I knew it, I'd done all of this and I didn't even film it. So I grabbed some stencils, I grabbed my Pretty Gets Gritty texture paste, this thick texture paste. It's really nice stuff. And then my powders. If you watch me and you know me, you know these are my addiction. These are my favorite thing in my craft room, my absolute favorite. So here I'm just sharing with you where I put the powders, which ones are which, and I love them. The Pretty Gets Gritty ones are my favorite by far, and this is also Pretty Gets Gritty texture paste. I'll link her website for you down below. I'm not sure what's available or not anymore, but I'll put it there. You can go and check out her site. I don't know if she ships worldwide or not, but she definitely ships to the UK. These kind of like the mixed media queen, Lynette, who owns the business. Oh my goodness, she has got the coolest stuff in there. Anyways, going back to my little crayons, I use them on the two corners. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but in that top space, I thought that's where I want to put my sentiment. I want to put my message there. Ages ago, I printed out a whole bunch of these sort of encouraging words, a bunch of Bible verses that I really like as well. Printed them on white, vanilla, and craft cardstock, and I printed them in various colors as well. I think I saved them on my computer. I can't quite remember. Some I pulled from the internet, some I typed out myself, but I just got all these kind of quotes, and I just keep this little bundle in my box for mixed media stuff. And I love these little quotes. They work really well. They cost me nothing. I just printed them out on my printer. So you don't have to get all fancy schmancy and get loads of sentiment sets. You can just print them out yourself and then cut them up and stick them down on your page. So that's all I did with this one. This is probably my favorite Bible verse. It's all about not worrying, and just trusting in God. And this is something that I need to remind myself a lot of as a Christian, because I can get a bit wrapped up in the world. So this is my favorite verse, and I thought this page will be a page about, bringing my focus back to God and reminding myself to pray. So I love this book. As I said before, it's for me. It's not for anybody else. And I can put whatever I feel like putting in it. So I know a lot of you aren't Christians, and that's fine. I hope you're not offended by the fact that I'm putting in stuff that is really personal to me. But when you're doing this, remember it's for you and not for anybody else. So put things in there that you enjoy, that you love. And I thought, I always overdo it with the butterflies, but who cares? I love butterflies. So I'm going to do butterflies. These two sets are from Crafty. I'm not sure if they're available or not anymore. I'm pretty sure they came with dies as well. I bought them quite a while ago and haven't used them. But she's another UK crafter, and they are photopolymer, really excellent quality stamps. So some of the stamps I put on using my blocks, and some I used just a piece of plastic packaging or the plastic packaging it came with, purely because the surface is so bumpy from all my texture in the background. So I went ahead and stuck them on using my fingers and pushing down, just so I could make sure the stamp was nice and even and it wasn't getting missed out by the bumpies. And my page isn't finished, but I stopped here because I was starting to run out of time and I wasn't overly feeling it anymore. I wanted to give myself a little break and move on to doing some card making, something that I could do a bit quicker and easier. But I hope you enjoyed this process with me. This was a first and a new, and it was a bit scary to do on camera because it's not my norm, but I hope you had fun anyways. And we will see what we're going to do next week. I'm not quite sure yet. So I can't wait to see you again. Have a fantastic weekend and see you soon. Bye.